kind of have these same questions, and what they're trying to put on us as far as what we sign is different than what they're verbally telling us with regards to the county's taking all those liabilities on, but the document doesn't really say that.
Mary, would you like me to email you a copy of
That'd be
that?
great, Lynn, thanks, I don't have anything else to do. Like reading at night,
Board of
yeah.
Adjustments?
Oh, gosh, so much to learn.
So here's a paper copy
So much to learn.
that's not marked up like mine, so
Awesome.
you can mark it up yourself.
Thank you.
That's the county one, isn't it?
That is the, I believe,
Even
is it?
local.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the county one. So the county come in and said they'll cover our requirements for the training and the initial attack. And so that's what you have there.
This is with the county and not the fire district, is that correct?
Yeah, that is in addition to the one from the state.
That is the county fire district, is it not?
Yeah, the county fire district, so we still have the state one she doesn't have in her hand,
Right.
that she still needs. That's one you're sending her, right? Okay. I could give you mine, but it's got red ink all over it. Which means nothing.
So since we have talked about this last few months and it's said, do we have any more discussion, or the chair would entertain a motion just I mean, we're in the middle of fire season and it's pretty scary, I'd like to get it started.
I'll make a motion to,
Probably need two separate ones.
sign this Town of Daniel, Utah Municipal Resolution number DR-2017-07-10A on date of July 10th, 2017, effective date July 10th, 2017.
So we have a motion to accept DR 217-07-10A. Do we have a second?
Second?
We have a motion and a second, any discussion?
Yes, is this the county one or the state one?
This would be a cooperative agreement between Danieltown and the Utah Division of Forestry, and fire and stimulants.
So it's not the county one?
This is not the county one, it's the state.
Can we reverse those?
Yes, we can.
I'd like to have the county one in place before we sign the state.
There we go.
So, do you want me to change the A and B so that they're in?
As long as we adopt this one first, I don't care what the number is. As long
Okay.
as the county one's in place, so we have that requirement met prior to us signing the agreement.
Okay.
I retract my motion and make another motion for the Town of Daniel, Utah Municipal Resolution to the signing of number DR-2017-07-10B.
Okay, so we have a motion for DR 217-07-10B. Do we have a second?
Second.
This is a resolution and a memorandum of understanding between Wasatch County Fire District for mitigation of cost of firefighting on wildlands fires in Daniel. So we have a second, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Are you going to read the resolution?
I am going to read the resolution, actually. Thank you. I was thinking of the other resolution already. I'll read this so we don't understand it. Resolution to enter a memorandum of understanding agreement with Wasatch County Fire District for mitigation of costs in fighting wildland fires in Daniel. The purpose, to cooperate with Wasatch County Fire District in joint agreements with the Utah Division of Forestry, Fire and State Lands in firefighting efforts in Danielstown. Resolution, whereas Wasatch County Fire District has agreed to a participation commitment to provide initial attack for wildland fire within the boundaries of Danieltown, and the County Fire District has agreed to provide fire protection services within Danieltown. The Danieltown Council, as the governing legislative body for the town of Daniel, desires to enter into the memorandum of understanding agreement with the County Fire District in addition to the cooperative agreement entered into with Utah Division of Forestry, Fire and State Lands for help in the suppression of wildland fires within Danieltown and agrees to all the terms and conditions set forth in the memorandum of understanding agreement. Once the participating entities have signed the agreement, it will be attached hereto as a permanent record. Bring up any other new questions for anybody, or that'd be okay?
Awesome.
Sign that. We have another one, which would be then for the town of Daniel and the Utah Division of Forestry. Joe, entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion for the Town of Daniel, Utah Municipal Resolution number DR-2017-07-10A.
Okay,
Second?
we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I'll read it and then we can vote. Number DR-217-07-10A, effective date July 10th, 2017. Short title, resolution to enter into a cooperative agreement between Danieltown and the Utah Division of Forestry, Fire, and State Lands. The purpose for participation in the agreement is to mitigate costs for Danieltown in the suppression of wildland fires within its boundaries. Resolution, whereas Utah Code 65A-8-203 permits municipalities to enter into a cooperative agreement with the state of Utah, Division of Forestry, Fire, and State Lands to cooperatively discharge their joint responsibilities for protecting non-federal land from wildfires, and whereas the town of Daniel, through its governing legislative body, desires to enter into such an agreement. Now therefore the Daniel Town Council does hereby resolve and approve that a cooperative agreement be entered into between the state of Utah, Division of Forestry, Fire, and State Lands, and the town of Daniel for prevention, mitigation, and suppression of wildland fires within the boundaries of the town as provided for in the cooperative agreement beginning in the year 2017. This agreement is intended to continue for a period of 5 years with the specific operational terms for both participants set forth in this agreement. Once signed by both parties, such agreement shall be attached to this resolution as a part of permanent record. We have a first and a second. Do we have any other discussion?
So the public might not be aware of this, but what this does is allows us to do in kind rather than just in money. So that's what they're trying to do, is to get us to go out and mitigate prior to a fire. And so that allows us to do in kind rather than just pay the money. And so that's what this is trying to do. Okay, so.
The county is, if I understood what you were reading, the county is forever agreement and the state is for 5 years.
Pretty much the county has always been, since we've been in town, we've had an agreement for that.
Right.
That I would assume just stayed, and you are right, the state one is a 5-year contract.
Okay.
And since it's 5 years, does the rate that we pay stay the same for the 5 years?
We'll know in 5 years.
Okay, contract is a contract in my mind.
Yeah, and one thing that, like Eric tried to explain, they really want just clean up wood out of the canal, clean up, and they really don't
Preventative
want money.
maintenance.
They just want
Preventative
time.
maintenance, yeah, got it.
And so this thing, this is their wildlife or risk index. I don't know how often they update that, but that's how they assess us, how much we pay.
Okay,
So they've included that in our packet of,
okay.
so that.
So I just was like Dish Network or DirecTV. Hey, give me a 24-month rate guarantee. Yeah, there you go.
And that could be the very well.
I know, okay.
So we have a first and a second, we've had discussion. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. DR 21707-10A.
Right on.
That takes care of items 9, 10. Approval of certified, we'll go on to item number 11, which will be approval of certified tax rate for property taxes in fiscal year 2017-18 by resolution. And then this particular is a resolution for this, is just,
That's a form that the state provides to just print with your rate on there.
There's nothing, I guess I kind of just read the amount or figure or?
Sure.
Okay. So, we have here, we have not changed, once again, our dollar amount of the tax rate. So I'm just gonna read you all the documentation that, it's a little different setup for the resolution, but, I guess I'm supposed to read it. Utah State Tax Commission Property Tax Division, resolution adopting final tax rate and budget. Fiscal year 2007, tax year 2017, County of Wasatch. It's hereby resolved that the governing body of Danieltown approves the following property tax rates and revenues for the year 2017. And the rate will be 40,000, which has been that way for, we approved the budget last month. And so this is just adopting what we've already approved for the budget as our tax rate. Any other questions or comments? If not, then Chair will entertain a motion to approve. And the rate, just so anyone knows, if they want to take a note, would be .000693.
So motion to approve?
Yep, that's what I'm looking for.
Motion to approve.
Okay, have a motion? Second?
I'll second it.
Have a motion, a second. Any other discussion on? Okay, all in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Those do have the sheet that all of the council members have to initial as well, all of the resolutions.
All of them?
Yes.
Let me start down there.
Jeez, now we gotta remember how we voted.
You want to go into negative one?
What was this for?
There are a lot more sheets out, so I just thought I'd go through. Here in just a second, we'll be talking about item 12, discussion of resolution to restrict fireworks and open flame within the town of Daniel boundary through September 2017. We've had the same fireworks plan in effect for the last so many years, but I believe it was north of 3,000 and not the whole town. Is that the-
It was south of.
Excuse me,
Yeah,
Yeah.
south of
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same one.
So you could do them north over or not. So we're just, in my mind, just reiterating what we've done for the last so many years, is just set another resolution for this year.
Right.
So Chair will entertain a motion to,
I'll do
to
it.
restrict fireworks and open flames within the town.
Make a motion that we approve DR 2017-07-10D regarding fireworks and open flame restriction in the town of Daniel, south of 3,000 south.
Okay? We have a motion? Have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. I'll read the resolution for clarity. Number DR 217-07-10D, short title, fireworks and open flame restrictions. Purpose to establish a policy of fireworks and open flame restrictions during hazardous fire conditions from now through September 2017. Resolution, whereas the Daniel Town Council, as the duly elected governing body of the town of Daniel, mindful of its capacity and duty to care for public safety, the Daniel Town Council declares that the danger of a wildland fire is extreme within the town of Daniel from now to September 30th, 2017, and hereby declares that fireworks or any other open flame shall be prohibited in all areas south of 3,000 south in the town of Daniel. The council further states that a person who neglectfully, recklessly, or intentionally causes or spreads a wildland fire shall be liable for those costs of suppressing that wildland fire, regardless of whether the fire begins on private land, land owned by the state, federal land, or tribal land. We have a motion, we have a second. Any other discussion? Not? Call for a vote?
I have a comment.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mayor, what would it take to make the whole town again, of it, you know, you guys were ready to do the fireworks? I mean, we've got people behind us that, we've got people with dry fields across the street from us, we've all got hay in barns. All it takes is one spark, you know?
You know, and it does, and I couldn't agree more. I believe, and someone helped correct me, that you cannot make the whole town a firework-free area. You can't.
Like, well, Summit County does it, I mean, Park City does it. So
Park-
They have to designate an area, or else it's an illegal resolution.
Yes. And so your value, like, there's another one of those things. You can't, you have to have a specific spot or you can't do it.
The state says we're liable if we start a fire, but we're not allowed to prohibit fireworks to stop the fire from starting.
Liberty.
You could expand the area like everything west of Daniel Road, and that would be okay.
You know, and we've gone through this, and it just seems that it's, you know, crossing the road's gonna be hard. Friends and neighbors can come on that side, take care of it, at least.
Kind of using that as a fire break through houses out.
And I'm not against this at all, but I'm just wondering because I never even knew this, and you said it's ongoing.
Yeah.
How do they inform the
Done the
public?
last few years.
The sheriff gives you a little ticket.
Just give me a ticket if you're doing
Yeah, the
it.
sheriff gives you a ticket.
And then when you go to court, the judge has another ticket.
I think we've had it in the paper before.
Is that how it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So they had a bunch of maps on the news last night, and obviously ours wasn't up there yet, but the media gets out the
We're not big
prohibitions
fireworks
pretty well.
fans, so it didn't matter, but I didn't know
I
that.
didn't know that.
I just know that.
I don't remember whatever was on TV that night. I just remember seeing the map of Beaver Valley and thinking, huh, maybe it's not ready yet, but it should
Those
be.
are the questions that are answered.
Oops.
Yeah.
So is there any other discussion, on fireworks?
I just got one, here at the bottom, regardless of whether the fire begins on private land, land owned by the state, federal land, or tribal land. It doesn't say anything about land of town advantage.
And we're not liable, right?
Apparently.
Well, we can change the verbiage to whatever you want.
Yeah, add and/or within town boundary.
Public land.
Public works.
And/or public land. That's all it?
Yes. Motion stands?
Motion stands, second stand.
Yes.
Corrections made and/or public land was added to it. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution passes. Discussion of Mountain Land Association of Governments Pre-Disaster Hazard Mitigation Plan. I think we're gonna turn it over to Erica.
Motion to continue?
Okay? Chair will entertain that motion to continue. Do we have a second?
Well, second.
A motion and a second to continue the discussion of Mountain Land Association of Governments. Any discussion?
Is there a reason for continuing?
Yes, they've changed the mitigation liaison between the town and the county, and all the wording in it is messed up from what was originally drafted. And so I haven't made contact with the new emergency director. That's who Mike Davis sent me to get that worked out. There's some things in there that state that the town of Daniel and Central Utah Water will be building a tank jointly.
Oh, it was a reservoir. Pond.
It says a tank
Oh, okay.
in the mitigation, and so,
Big town.
Doesn't matter, they're both wrong.
yeah. I told Mike I work for both of them, and I don't know nothing about this, that's all. So that's, I just have to clear that up. He sent me that way, so.
Answer your question.
Yeah, thanks for your efforts there, Eric.
So a motion to continue, do we have a second?
Yeah, I second
Okay, is there a motion and a second to continue? All in favor? Aye.
that. Aye.
Any opposed? Continue item 13 until next council meeting. Number 14, recommendations from Planning Commission on Home Occupation Code 8.25. I'll read the recommendations. To the Daniel Town Council from Daniel Planning Commission. Chapter 8.25 Addendum. Please be advised that the Daniel Planning Commission recommends the following. Commissioner Rawlings moved to adopt 8.25 ordinance as printed in this form and send it to the Daniel Town Council. Thank you for your consideration on this matter. I have not had enough time to go through this thoroughly. I don't think we would spend a lot of time today on this tonight. I think we ought to look at it between now and next month, and I'd like to make changes and hopefully get it passed by next month.
What's
So,
the gist of it?
excuse me?
What's just the gist of it? Like, what is it? Just an idea of what it is.
What's the gist of the code?
Yeah.
It's a new code that we just put, the code would be 8.25 for, we have home occupation business, and then we have commercial zone
Oh,
things. And so this
okay,
one
got
happens to be this sliver that's been working on for about
I
a
agree.
year.
Okay.
So, council can go back, read what the planning commission would recommend, and I'd like to also continue this till next month and be prepared to take action on it.
It was an agenda item, and so I think it should be discussed.
Okay?
At least give them time to discuss. We have planning commission members here. I think we can take time to address some questions.
Okay, let's do it. What was your question?
Okay? How did you go about doing this? And maybe I should ask her.
I wasn't
since
at
she-
that meeting last.
That was a good answer.
I wasn't there.
So sorry, I don't know how they continued on that meeting, because I was not there. How they came to, I mean, I've been in
Sure. we've
the
been in a lot of-
discussions for a long time, but I don't know how
Was
they
that
got
on,
there.
was that on purpose?
No, it was not. I had something better, something else to do.
No, they did it while you were gone. Was that
Oh.
on purpose?
There's that too. So I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to that.
So Eric,
Eric obviously was there.
help me just understand, is this what planning is recommending that we adopt as 825?
No, this is the 825A or whatever number that we want to assign to it. So there will be home occupation, and then this will be offices and businesses separate from that.
So they came up with this name, home occupation, office and business.
Right.
And then the next one that we've already approved is this one on the third page, which is home occupation standards. Is that right or is that wrong?
No, this is all, this would be B on there. So the other one that we have, it's 825 that we passed, and it's sitting there waiting for us to adopt,
Completely different.
completely different. And separate from this one will be B, or what we said is we would let Lynn put whatever number she wanted on.
Okay. And you guys felt that.
Because she will anyway. And so we felt that this is as good as we could get. We worked on it. We've just been through it. You've been to the meetings. Everybody's been there. This is as good as we can get. We're going to push it on and then make adjustments because obviously there will be things come up that we can't foresee. It was simple, but it was still, we thought this covered what it needed to do.
And was it a unanimous vote? Or was it?
I don't know that.
No, with the exception.
There was enough.
I heard that it was unanimous, or maybe it was one person who didn't.
It was unanimous? Okay. It was unanimous for everybody that was there.
There you go.
So Eric, as I look at this, it seems like you went with a very broad instead of the discrete number type of thing,
Yes.
where
Every time we tried to dial something down, there was
this didn't
another,
fit.
there was just another issue. It just got bigger, so you just blossom this way and blossom that way. And so basically what this will allow us to do is have something we can follow, but yet we still have the nuisance ordinance for something that comes in that we just can't control.
And I think that's good. My only concern is that being loosely written is really good in some ways, but it's bad in that sometimes there's not equal, fair treatment given. You know, it seems like we could have someone come in here with Plan A and someone with Plan B, and they're really close, and we deny one and we award the other one.
Concern that was talked about there in the meeting. Because with this one, this will come before the planning commission before it comes to the council. Under this, it goes to the planning commission.
It does, it says that in here somewhere?
It does.
Okay.
Yep.
You know, when you enter zoning, there's winners and losers. And the council decides who those are. That's just the way it is.
But there needs to be some rules that
You know, they are.
Yeah, and I agree, and I just was mentioning that they're very loose, and I see benefit to that, and I see some drawbacks to that.
In my mind, I was hoping that there might be a strike here and a strike there of a few words, but this is 95% done as far as planning, and I figured we'd add a few bits and pieces to it.
So you haven't read it good enough to know, to talk about it, but you think it's 95%?
Pretty much, the parts I read right now, I've already got questions this morning, today that I don't have an answer for, fully reading through it, so that's why I myself need longer to think of all the ramifications of each section.
Eric, were there any of these items that were discussed more heavily than others, or more, strongly felt about, or?
I think every item on here was discussed at length, and that's, yes, word for word.
Over and over.
And so that's what as a commission, I think they finally came to that conclusion that this is as good as it's gonna get for now. And so we have something in place. We have nothing in place right now for a small business.
I think there's been a lot of hard work on this. I think there's lots of great things with it. I think it looks good. I've read over it. I have some tweaks that I might suggest, but I think it's good.
Save you a trip.
Okay, we have the discussion that we want to continue that till next month. So, Chair will entertain a motion to do so.
It sounds like we're not ready to vote on it for sure. Okay. Motion to continue.
A motion to continue?
Second.
Second, any other discussion on it? Not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're going to continue that item then, add to the list. Okay, on item number 15, Planning Department report, violation enforcement. Going to come over to Eric again.
Okay, here's the report for June. Items that we did, worked on, played with, talked.
Time to have lunch this
Yeah,
month.
do you?
We could share.
Anybody else on? Bells? Ryan, you better have one. These are all my phone calls to you, partner. Do you guys need one over there?
I'll make sure I have the
You got
same
one?
list.
Okay, all right. Any questions? Fantastic.
How about Boar Canal application streamline?
So that's a Bureau of Reclamation. That's the programmatic.
That's a hard word too, I had a couple.
Programmatic application they're trying to do to streamline filling in of the canals. You remember they sent us that notice when I sent in a comment on the canal that was filled in up in Storm Haven. So now they're building a document that they want to streamline this process so that they're not going through all of the studies and all the timelines of everybody. They want to streamline if it meets certain criteria in the front, and some of you are familiar with the FONSI, finding of no significant impact. It basically does that in the front, but they don't call it that, and then they just streamline. If it meets this criteria, there's no historical significance, there's no environmental. So if it meets these criteria, it has a channel to get done and through. What they found is as the canal in Logan that broke and took the lives of a couple of people up there in that house, is that they found that they couldn't rebuild that until they went through this huge process to get that done. They want to be able to streamline that because the people downstream have no water when that happens. So they want to be able to streamline this. If there's no impact, then they want to be able to just push it through. So that's at the Bureau of Reclamation's office. We've had two meetings. We'll meet again on the 20th. And that's what that's about.
Okay. But I hadn't heard of that. Thank you, Chris.
No signed complaints this month.
No signed complaints?
Have you looked at the camera
It's already done, yes.
information on Ranch?
I have not looked at the camera information. I did go out and take pictures of the road with the rock on it and damage to the road. So I know that the mayor and Ryan's been in touch with Francis.
And so what Francis' last letter on Friday was the subs had the subs who did problems on there, and they've all been told down the line, and then we have pictures of the damage that we'll be presenting at the appropriate time to have it corrected. So that was their, it makes sense, but not really. You know, whoever's managing that could manage it a little bit better to make sure they weren't there, but that's the reason why that was all there. So, is it gone yet?
I don't know if the wrong cause, I've been down there except for the weekend.
I haven't gone to it.
Okay. Well, I know that there's the rocks in the middle of the road was a sub of a sub, and it just got dumped there at the site, and so, you know, he dumped it left, and then we got some pictures of it all, and, you know.
So dump and gone, huh?
Just right in the middle of the asphalt. You're not. It's gone.
Looks like a good place for the driver, I guess.
Never mind, it's getting black.
Eric,
Yes.
where are we on Mark's zone change?
Mark's zone change has been continued. We're just working through all the process of it. Mark's, you may want to tell him, Mark, he's requested, he's checking with UDOT for access right now and seeing what restrictions or what process is to get, if he changes his zone and increases his use, what his liability will be as far as the highway access.
You have highway access now, don't you?
Yeah.
Stephanie made a lot of claims that may or may not be true.
Stephanie feels that we would have to expand that, but we just want to make sure that that's not the case.
Yeah.
We want to just clarify what our right-of-way access is and what the use can be.
You come up with some good questions or good thoughts on some of that, but good to get answered.
So is there anything else that has developed with that at all? Or is it just kind of waiting for the process?
We're waiting for an answer. We have contacted them, so
Oh, you're waiting for UDOT?
we're waiting for you, Doc.
Okay. And then you give that information for planning and
We'll tell them whether we want to move ahead or
Uh,
not at that point.
so it's kind of moving ahead, just slow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Moving to get an answer.
Just like everything else.
Okay.
You all right? What's your zone change?
I'm putting in for a zone change to commercial down on my property, down on 3000 South. I put in an application for that.
Like where your home is? or-
Yes, sir.
Now, are you bounded by commercial on the other side?
I'm backed up to airport commercial, it's actually airport industrial. And then I have actually industrial across the road. The town only has a little bit of industrial, it's across the road from me.
And so straight west of you, is that Harry? No, that's an open field, right?
That's Harry Wyans.
Is that commercial?
It is not, we moved that back to our A5.
Yeah. Went up and moved it.
He may want to move it,
Are
try to
you-
move it back to commercial.
Are you in the enterprise zone there?
Yes, I am in the enterprise zone there. The enterprise zone goes up to, I believe it goes all the way up to, no, I think it goes up to, does it go all the way Southfield Road?
Is talking about the
No.
enterprise zone?
Yeah, it doesn't quite go to Southfield Road. On the other side, it does go to Southfield Road, so on this side it goes all the way, but on this side it stops. It's like at Blaine Smith's.
So this is, what's his name? It's the open field, that's county,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So this one is Harry Wines in the corner and I'm right there.
Okay, so Mark has talked a lot about what he's planning on doing on his property and stuff. Is this the time we ask you about that, or will there be more discussion at a later date, or?
Well, and that's a good question. I think I'm glad you brought it up. Actually, when a concept comes, there's nothing in our code that requires a concept as zone change, and I think it does muddy the water, as you can probably figure as we go through these public hearings. You hear a lot of comment on what's proposed there, and it actually has nothing to do with the zone change. The zone change is it appropriate for the zone change? Concept comes after the zone change, and so I think it does muddy the water. You'll hear a lot of comments based on the comment. We heard truck stop, we heard all this stuff that doesn't even matter. If it's allowed in a commercial zone and you think the property should be commercial, then that's allowed in that zone.
So can we get an average there?
Online? No.
Oh,
So we've been possibly unfair to Mark, and
If they come with a concept, applicants sometimes like to bring a concept because it actually does draw some of the attention away from the actual zone change. So you'll see engineers that'll show up with the whole concept drafted and
but we don't require that before.
it's not part of the concept. Yeah, it's not part of the application in the zone change.
Now, this will require a public hearing, or?
It will, public notice, public hearing.
And how many acres do you have there?
3.
3, and you're proposing that all of it be zoned commercial?
Yes.
Can you have a residence on commercial?
I could continue my use that I have.
But you couldn't build like a new home, right?
You can't have a caretaker.
Can't have caretaker dwelling.
So like Eric Anderson's
In a
house.
commercial zone? Okay,
Any questions?
I don't think so.
How big of a caretaker residence do you have?
5,000.
There's a bunch of regulations on a caretaker
Nice,
dwelling.
beautiful stuff on it.
So one of them is it can't be bigger than the main structure, and there's just a whole bunch of different regulations on the caretaker. Has to be occupied by an employee of the business. And so there's a whole list
Can
of,
you move from, change the existing house to a caretaker's and go live at your house?
yeah, remember that's what Harry Wayne was gonna do. He was gonna slide that house up and have that as a caretaker for his storage units.
Okay.
That was gonna be a caretaker unit for the storage units down there on his.
Just connect them
I
with life work.
I can imagine that as these notices go out, we may have more interest down on that end again. If people want to,
Are you gonna have any conflict of interest as the planning chair in your property? Can we help you with that, or?
oh,
You just can't vote.
It has to abstain.
I guess, if you need help, just let us know.
well, the conflict of interest in the state of Utah requires me to state that I may have a conflict of interest. There's nothing that states I can't vote. However, in the past, when I've had things come up for my permit, I've actually left the meeting. I just try and be conscious of that.
Yeah. Oh, I know
sit
you
in
do.
a kind of a strange position, but
I know you do, so that's why
I leave it there.
offering, if there's anything you need, just let us know.
Okay. Anything else with regards to planning department or questions? Now we'll move on to item number 16, which is
well,
continued.
there's the one more thing down there, Chip. The herbicide spray applicator, I did not order that.
Okay, and we're gonna order that. I know a letter John, you kinda sent out a letter with regards to some questioning about that.
And so I didn't dare order that because of the letter that went out tonight after the council meeting.
I actually thought it was approved, and the weeds are twice as high now. Do we have, what did the council feel at the time that we voted last month on it? I was under the impression that we were moving forward with that
Yeah, we have to
sprayer.
go ahead on
Did you have a different,
No, I thought we were gonna buy it.
you thought we were gonna buy it? Okay, so I think we're gonna buy it.
Did you thought we was buying it?
I thought we were buying it.
Because your letters seemed to indicate we was hiring somebody to do that.
Which letter?
That went out the day after the council meeting
To,
to the council.
no, I thought we were buying it. What I was talking about is getting the spray from the county. They'll give us all the spray that we want to buy.
Chemical, you mean?
Pesticides.
The chemical part of the
Yeah, the
spray?
chemical part. And they have a big, long list. It's just not the generic stuff. So,
If everything's about burned up, then we might as well wait until next year.
And whatever the council wants to do, I know that we've got a problem, so.
Well, the water tank's got some pretty dandy stuff up there as well, so I we need to just move forward and get it done.
but we read my email.
Yep, you talked about hiring contractors to spray and.
I think we can. That's all an
Well,
option.
well, why would we buy a sprayer if we're gonna do that?
We wouldn't.
That's what I'm saying, that's why I didn't do it.
Oh, okay, so maybe we want to talk about that part then.
Okay,
Are we all aware of
Well,
what?
we did talk about it, the summer's almost over, and most of us thought we were gonna buy it, but the letter threw a question of not
Oh,
buying it, and
okay.
so,
So we already motioned to buy it, and then discussion came up after, so we made a decision.
most of us feel that we think that, but I have not gone through the minutes, but it was held off for the letter reasons, for clarification. So, I think John and myself and the others thought we were gonna get it, but there was some muddy water, so.
Is there a different arena regarding the types of pesticides or herbicides they're spraying? I mean, do we know what kind of herbicides the city's, we're buying? If the city provides it, what is it they're providing?
So usually the person spraying knows what they're gonna be spraying and what they should and shouldn't spray with it, is that what you're asking of
Yeah, like
the
for all
knowledge
the-
of the,
For all of us beekeepers and nicotine-based things and, you know what I mean?
can you address that?
I'm new up here, but I'm a beekeeper.
What
yeah,
about these two?
Yeah, you know how you know with this whole
So-
nicotine
so
stuff?
just for your information, I hope you're licensed, because now it's illegal to have bees without being licensed, okay? Don't answer that. Okay, the bee in the state of Utah is protected, and so they're asking everybody to spray restricted use pesticide. And I say that because restricted use requires a non-commercial license to purchase. That you spray in the mornings and late at nights when the bees aren't active.
When they're not out active.
And so, non-restrictive pesticide doesn't have that. And so Roundup, Glyphosate, 2,4-D, everything you can buy at the Home Depot.
Right, but anything you're buying from the city, if we had the sprayer, they're doing bee restricted.
No, we do the same thing, we use Glyphosate. When we get up close to the water, we use an aquatic Glyphosate, so you can spray up to the water's edges. We don't use, as far as me spraying the town, we don't use any restricted use pesticide.
Okay.
However, the county, you can get it, and there are people spraying it. But the bees has become a big thing. It's
Yeah.
a big item.
So on these licenses for beekeepers to get, what's
Well,
the
that was,
process for that? What are they-
well, that was the downside, is they had beekeepers come and saying that the herbicide or the pesticide was killing them, which the pesticide does, herbicides is less restrictive on, but they had them coming and claiming that they were gone. So what they decided to do at the state, and this is just Eric's take on it, is they would license them, then they would be able to regulate and see how many hives they have, what their production is, and they'll be able to track that. And they pay money for it.
It's just Big Brother watching my hives. I
Yes.
got it.
No, that sounds weird, doesn't it?
Yeah, Big Brother watching the girls. Yeah.
Beehives.
Yeah.
So that's how that whole thing came into
So basically,
play.
if you want to have a say, you better pay me for a permit. That's what
Yeah,
that's what they're saying.
that's basically what they're doing. They did the same thing with the lien recovery fund for a contractor. If I don't pay into that as a contractor,
Then-
I lose all my lien rights.
Exactly.
And so it's the same thing.
Okay.
Very business friendly.
Yes. Yes. So, where are we at on that? So we ordering the sprayer? Are we,
I say we get
Yeah,
the
that's
sprayer
what we
and get one last one that hopefully maybe not spread too much extreme if it can help kill any of the seeds or anything.
And we do have what's called Escort that I put in there, and it actually makes the seed head, it sterilizes the seed head, so those seeds are not
That
active.
blue stuff,
No, that's just a dye. This is just, it takes 1 ounce per 100 gallons.
wow.
So it's very strong, but it does a super job.
So Eric,
It's very expensive, but
do you think you would, up at the water tank, maybe you'd spray still this year?
I would still be spraying the sides of the road. I mean, I've been out Blue Stake and I've been chopping them with my shovel because,
Okay.
I mean, I can't believe what we've got. We've got a mess. We could go through the whole list, but it would just take long.
I've sprayed out in front of mine,
We
down
need
the
to-
range across the street, and the weeds still growing. Even my neighbor there.
Is there an ordinance, or should there be an ordinance, for everybody who has frontage on a road to
There is.
take care and keep, and then you wouldn't need as much spraying, right?
You'd hope.
The county gives.
There is and we
plenty of
is-
sprayers.
Is there an ordinance that requiring that? If not, there should be.
Front yards and snow, I mean, just like Heber City on the sidewalks, they're supposed to, in that little rock path between the sidewalk, they're supposed to, all the municipalities will have that front area. cleaned.
But wouldn't that help the weed problem, to make people responsible for the problem?
It could, and I think even Heber City's gone to effective, now they have their daily zoning cop going out, checking on whether it's weeds or dogs or chickens, I mean, they just go out.
Yeah.
Was that fee going up there, that yearly fee?
So what we have as a county, you could hire them to come out and spray. You could hire the county, however, that has since been rescinded. They won't cross onto private property again because of liability issues.
Yeah, he killed a few dogs.
I don't know what happened, but when the old director left, they allowed them to go onto property that has since been rescinded. So they won't come onto private property now and spray.
I think it's better.
So Eric, in terms of what we have as a town for equipment, is the sprayer just fit in the back of a pickup truck, or do we have a way to move it around? Or-
It fits in the back of a pickup truck, however, we talked about that. Did you want anybody just taking it out and spraying with it?
Yeah, and I think we decided no, right? So we're not gonna rent it, but I wonder, you know, if there's someone that could help spray, if, you know, 'cause you can't do it all.
Right. So the county has a grant. The grant value is $80,000. It allowed $18,500 in chemicals. They've spent $13,000 to date. Okay? The Title II grant for 2017 is $31,292.80. Money is still available from last year for part of this fund. Okay, so they bought some Milestone. Milestone is an awesome herbicide for thistle that has headed out. It really puts a punch to it. It changes it from the glyphosate. And Milestone really puts a knock on thistle. It's really good for thistle. However, it will build immunity to it, so you have to change. And that's where I put in that Escort, because it actually is 2 modes of action. It opens the pores on the plant, and it actually dehydrates the plant also, so along with the seed heads. But you have to be very careful with it. It's very, very
That
cool.
sounds pretty toxic.
Yes.
Is this something that we can get at the county?
Yes, this is the county weed board minutes that I'm reading this
Now,
from.
where of the county, what address?
It's the one down at the transfer station, and you just go in, go to the
The
drive-through, you have to ask for
At the
Quentin
scale.
Lewis.
At the scale there?
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, and so they have herbicide that they will give you as a resident. So if you're a resident, they'll give you that. Trick to that is that you have to keep the paperwork, fill out how many acres that you're doing, because that is based how much they get on their next year's grant. Okay? So, on their, let's see, what they give me how much was sprayed here, just let me find that. Okay. The biocontrol bug collection took place just recently. Collections will be coming for 7 releases which target Dalmatian toadflax. We have that along the foothills. So that's it's a waxy looking plant and has little yellow flowers on it. Okay, the bug that they put on that is a black weevil, and it's a stem borer weevil. So it actually bores in, kills the seed head, and actually would collapse the entire colony.
And then where does the weevil go?
Then that weevil dies. Then that weevil dies. They're very specific to what they eat. And so we've had total collapse down. There's a few of these around the county that we've had total collapse of it. And the plants are coming back and there's no bugs to eat them. The bugs have died off. So it's a really good bug. But okay, so today's total for chemical provided to the public are 163 gallons of base camp, which is a 2,4-D product, so it's a broadleaf killer. 11 quarts of Milestone. This has enabled 3,093 acres to receive treatment. This report is as of May. Okay. They do have a noxious weed field guide booklet that's available when you go down. If you go down and pick up some herbicide, make sure you get that. We have some new weeds in the town of Daniel. We now have, 2 years ago there was no sulfur cinquefoil. There is that now in the town. It's a yellow flower. I'm not going to leave it.
From the irrigation water?
Nobody knows where it's coming from, but it's here. So, and this past year the state increased their weed list. So the county was working on, and I spent quite a bit of time on this. The county, our weed board, tried to include a broader weed than what the state was. Luckily, Councilman Farrell put a stop to that and made that a suggestion rather than law, or we would have had, I believe the town of Daniel would have been in odds with the county again, based on, they have a weed list, we have a weed list that we've adopted and they wouldn't match. So they'd be trying to force county ordinances within the municipality. Luckily, that didn't happen. We stayed with the state side, state weed list. So we're lucky this time, but the weed board, they was really going strong. Okay, so we did a Dutch Hollow in June. Everybody gets together and they put a lot of people on it, and that was at Dutch Hollow on the 6th and 7th of June. We have leafy spurge over there that's come in so bad, and we have that over at the top of Big Hollow, leafy spurge. Is anybody familiar with leafy spurge? You break that plant off and it looks a little like a dandelion, the milk in it. However, if you get it on your hand, it will raise a blister.
Oh.
If you rub it in your eye, you'll be permanently blind. It's a nasty plant. And so you gotta be very careful when you're pulling it or doing anything to that. What we found is with the glyphosate, you spray it, it'll turn red. Next year it will come back. It's a multiple year to kill that. So be on the lookout for that. It has a yellow flower. The seed head will, when they dry, they open and it will throw the seed 21 feet.
Wow.
And so that when it explodes, it'll go 21 feet in all directions. So it doesn't take long for this to spread.
What's it called again?
Leafy spurge. There's also a myrtle spurge that's the takeoff of that was brought in as an ornamental. I haven't seen the myrtle spurge in the town, but I have seen the leafy spurge. And so as we have these building permits coming in to the town, we're requiring them to go to the county and get a weed plan. So that at least they're aware of that. We've had some homeowners that didn't even know they were on their property. So that's probably enough about.
So when you talk about there was a group of people that went to Dutch Hollow and took care of, is that something that Daniels is asking maybe residents to help take care of? Is that how that worked?
Absolutely, yeah.
Or what was that?
Mayor Duggan did that a lot with his own equipment, donated tons of hours, tons of stuff. I mean, it's a group, it's a co-op, so everybody gets together, and everybody's got their own little neck of the woods they gotta fight, but sometimes you just need help. And so we can just take everybody's resource and hit that hard. We at the top of Jordanelle there, we had, and I don't know if anybody goes up north to Cache Valley, Dyer's Wood, if you look on the hill, it's all yellow. Well, we had some of that come over the hill right there in that cut at Jordanelle. We went up and hand pulled that all, put it in garbage bags and hauled it off. And it's really done good, but now if you drive over to Park City and you come up from Park City side, it goes clear to the point where we pulled it now. It's all over the side of that hill. And it forces all the other vegetation out. So we got some bad stuff coming.
Yeah.
And so we try and stay on top of that. I think town does a pretty good job. I had people that get very upset with me spraying in their frontage. I tell them the easy way to fix that is you take care of those weeds, I won't come. But if you don't, I'm coming.
We'll take care
And
of
if
it.
I kill a tree, I'm sorry, but that's what I do.
We'll take care of our weeds.
This,
At night?
Take care of ours.
this county herbicide program, is it available for a farmer that grows alfalfa and the grass is killed off the alfalfa, and he can take it and kill off everything and plant again?
Yes,
Or
a
is it-
certain amount is allowed, so they'll ask you how many acres you have, and that will give you how much herbicide they'll give you. So it probably won't be enough to do your whole field, but it'll get you started on it,
I see.
so.
I
yeah.
have 5 acres and they give me 2 gallons.
About 2,4-D.
Yeah. which
How
is-
much did it cover?
Oh, that's way enough to cover 5 acres.
So you're an ounce per gallon on 2,4-D, when you're mixing 2,4-D, for most plants. If you have a woody plant, it'll take a little bit more, but most plants is 1 ounce per gallon.
It's a great deal, actually.
And they have different varieties of that. If you get the 2,4-D4, it's an aquatic, you can spray it up to the water's edge. They also have some that you can spray, as soon as you cut your alfalfa, you can spray on there and it kills everything, and the alfalfa is not hurt as much. And Gary Waits uses that in his field. So it takes out our favorite weed.
Does it take that out?
It does, yeah.
Plantain.
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 That's squeezing out the alfalfa. So if you cut, the alfalfa stem is, it's short, but the plantain flower is still there. So it's a weaker mix, and you spray that, it kills the plantain, but the alfalfa sprouts back through it. It's hurt, but it does survive. There's you shouldn't get me going on this. There's a gallon that's called Thunder, that you can spray right in the alfalfa that will kill the plantain, that won't hurt your alfalfa. It's $526 a gallon. So,
And how much do you put on? That's cheap. It works.
you have to put in quite a bit.
Everything does.
Yeah.
Gallon doesn't go.
Half a
Compared to
gallon.
seed, it sounds cheaper.
Okay, that's enough for me, huh?
Is there a way to get on the volunteer list for weed control?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, is there, when you have that,
They meet on the same night that we meet as the planning, so the third Wednesday. They meet at 1 o'clock at the old cross, right here.
That's the problem. They meet at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Well,
For those that work, it's hard to
Wait till
make
you
that.
retire, man.
another reason why you need to retire.
Well, and that's where my vacation days go and things like that, is because I burn them up doing this kind of stuff, so.
Okay, that concludes 15. Item 16 is continued from last month, discussion regarding restructured employee compensation. Is that something we want to tackle tonight, or?
It's on the agenda.
Okay. Well, on the agenda, let's discuss it then.
Okay.
The floor is open to the council to discuss it.
I make a motion, everybody gets a raise.
Thank you. Chair, take the easy
Just up the
motion.
water bill.
You make that up with the water bill.
Pass it along.
I don't know what you just said.
We knew we'd come to this where we was trying to attract people to fulfill some of these positions. And it would cost the town some money to fill some of these. We've been so lucky to have people volunteer and work for almost nothing. That
Thank you, Art.
well, it's not Eric, it's, trust me, there's been a bunch of people in this
Yeah.
town that's done a lot of work.
And you're one of them.
And it's definitely, as you say, when you have another job, it's hard to do a lot of what gets done, and it takes a lot of time to do a lot of these jobs, so.
So that's where I'm kind of coming at, Eric. Everybody thinks that I'm criticizing the system